What is going on, Schwazy gang? In today's video, we are going to be discussing 5 things that I already hate about my 2021 Ford Bronco. Okay, it has been exactly 2 weeks since I took delivery of this beautiful Big Bend Area 51 Ford Bronco, and I absolutely love it. But that being said, I thought what better time than to discuss 5 things that I already don't like / hate about this car. Now, the funny thing is you guys actually love to hate on these hate videos. It's like I attack you personally with these videos. But that being said, a lot of people actually find these very useful, and they are probably the most watched videos on my channel because I think they provide a lot of useful information for potential new owners, or maybe if you are debating on placing a reservation or an order on this car. These videos are very helpful because they give you a heads up on what to expect when you take delivery. So that being said, let's kick it off in no particular order. The first thing that I hate about my 2021 Ford Bronco. Okay, for the first thing, we're talking cup holders. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, there are only 2 cup holders inside the entire vehicle. That's it. There are no more cup holders in the 2021 Bronco, regardless of whether you get the 2 or the 4-door option. That is kind of a problem, in my opinion. I think that a vehicle with 4 doors and 5 seats should have at least 4 cup holders. Now, the doors do have a little bit of a netted surface over here, as you can see, but this doesn't really replace a cup holder. The reason I say that is because, for one, this is a net, and so it cannot hold an open container of liquid. Yes, it's fine for water bottles, but it's still not a true cup holder. The second reason I don't consider it being a cup holder is because these doors come off the car. That's the whole purpose of having a Bronco or a Wrangler or an off-road SUV, is the doors come off. So what am I supposed to do if I take these doors off and these are the only 2 cup holders that I have in the vehicle? But I am carrying 4 people. The third reason I don't consider this a cup holder is I don't know how much bulky stuff I'm actually going to be putting in here, since this type of netted material stretches out quite a bit, and over time it's going to become looser and looser, and I'm going to have to replace it in order to hold objects inside of the net. That is why I think Ford should have put a center armrest in the back seats that folded down and had 2 cup holders, or place 2 cup holders behind the center arm console. That would have been very helpful to have, seeing as how 2 is just not enough for an SUV of this size. Now, my 2021 Bronco comes equipped with the towing package, which to my understanding is a option that is in short supply right now. So not very many people are able to get this, or if they do select it, they are waiting for a little bit longer than people who did not order the towing package. Now, I ordered it with this option because I occasionally tow a small trailer with either an ATV or just a bunch of mulch or grass or something, and it's very nice to have that functionality of being able to plug in your trailer and be able to regulate it inside of the cabin. As a matter of fact, the blind spot monitoring knows when you have a trailer attached to it, and it actually uses sensors to be able to determine if there is a vehicle in the blind spot of the trailer. Pretty cool feature to have. That is not my problem. My issue with the towing package and the Bronco in general is the fact that regardless of whether you have this option or not, your towing capacity is limited to 3,500 pounds. Now, that is a little upsetting, seeing as how this vehicle is based entirely off of the Ford Ranger. Now, if you guys are Ford fans or you know about Ford, the Ford Ranger has a towing capacity of 3,500 pounds. That makes sense. That's the exact same amount as the Bronco. That being said, if you equip the Ranger with the towing package, you can get up to 7,500 pounds in towing capacity. The Bronco does not. Regardless of whether you have the tow package or not, you're limited to 3,500 pounds. To me, that is not sufficient for a vehicle of this size. For reference, my 2018 Toyota RAV4 could be equipped with the towing package and get it up to 3,500 pounds. That is a unibody crossover with a small 2.5 liter non-turbocharged engine versus this hefty truck-like machine that's a body-on-frame SUV can tow the exact same amount as a 2018 Toyota RAV4. Now, I do understand that the Jeep Wrangler has pretty much the same amount of towing capacity. They are limited in, depending on the trim, up to 3,500 pounds. But I feel that if Ford increased the towing capacity either to 5,000 or maybe even up to 7,500 pounds, similar to the Ranger, that would be an amazing competitive advantage of this vehicle compared to the Wrangler. A lot of people that own these cars like to do overlanding, they like to carry a trailer, and you are limited on your options when you have a 3,500 pound towing capacity. Personally, I would have loved to have a towing capacity closer to 7,500 pounds because then I would really highly consider buying a car trailer and putting my Hellcat on top of it and being able to tow my Hellcat with my Bronco and take it out to drag strips. I cannot do that with a 3,500 pound max towing capacity on this Bronco. Now let's jump back inside and talk about the third thing that I hate about this car. Okay, now the third thing that I don't like about my Bronco has to do with the rear view camera. Now, I am not very picky when it comes to resolution or quality of rear view cameras. I know there's a lot of people out there that have been complaining about the video quality or the backup camera quality of the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. And in my opinion, this car, which is a lot newer than the Hellcat, the backup camera just isn't really that good of quality. It does show you directional lanes so you know where you're going to be pulling the car into, but the quality itself just isn't very good. You can't really tell much of the detail going on around here, and when it's dark at night, it doesn't do that much better of a job. The one thing I will say is I like that there is a zoom feature, so it shows you right behind the rear bumper, and it also has parking sensors, which is helpful to have for a vehicle of this size. But even so, considering both those things, the video quality just isn't that great. I am not quite sure if the 12-inch touchscreen that is an option on these Broncos is any better, but I feel like it's going to be the exact same rear view camera. It's just going to have a much larger screen. All in all, if you do not like the backup camera on the Uconnect system in the Dodge, you are not going to find the quality to be any better, possibly even worse, in the 2021 Bronco. Now, the fourth thing that I do not like about the Bronco is actually the brakes. Yes, no surprise, an individual that had Brembo brakes on his Scat Pack and on his Hellcat does not like the brakes of a vehicle of this size. Well, that's not necessarily true. I am also used to the brakes on my fiance's Range Rover, which are generally better since it's a luxury car, but I'm also used to the brakes on my 2018 Toyota RAV4, which are actually coming to the point of needing to be replaced. But comparing all those four vehicles that I just discussed, all of them have better brakes than the Bronco. Now, I'm not necessarily concerned that I would not be able to brake in time if an emergency were to happen on the roads, but the brake feel and the response is just not up to where I want it to be. The brakes overall are pretty spongy. And what I mean by that is you have to push it down quite a bit in order for there to be any type of response on the vehicle. It's almost as if you have to travel a good inch or two before you feel the vehicle actually starting to slow down. Now, I have not driven in a Ford Ranger before, so perhaps it's very similar, but I have driven in other trucks. And in most of my experiences driving in those other trucks, I have had a better brake response and better brake feel than I have had in the Bronco. It's kind of funny to say this, but I can definitely feel the weight of the vehicle when I'm trying to push the brakes of this car. I don't feel it in the handling, I don't feel it in the acceleration, but I do feel it when I'm trying to brake this car that this car weighs a lot. And I'm not sure if they needed to tune in the brake pedal a little bit better, or perhaps they needed to put in bigger brakes on this car, but I do lack a little bit of confidence in my brakes when I'm driving this vehicle. Okay, now for the number 5 thing that I hate about this car, this actually does top the list of my least favorite features. All of the other things that I've pointed out in today's video are just minor inconveniences and you can live with them. However, number 5 is actually one thing that I genuinely hate about this car, and it's already frustrated me in the short 2 weeks that I've owned it. That has to do with the keyless entry system. Now, all Broncos come with this Bronco key, which is really nice. It's got metal to it, it's got some plastic, plastic. It's got a good feel to it. I like the key a lot. However, with this key comes the engine start stop button, which means you can walk up to the car and keeping the key in your pocket, you can unlock the doors, sit inside the car, push the press to start button, and the car turns on without using a physical key to turn it on. Everybody is familiar with this feature. The one thing that I hate about this feature is since the key is already in my pocket when I sit into the car, if I have to get out of the car to grab something from my house or pick something up, or say I forgot something, if I forget to take the key out of my pocket and leave it inside of the car, or I forget to turn the car off, as soon as I get out of the vehicle, the Bronco will honk at me very, very loudly to inform me that I have left the vehicle on. Now, I'm about to show you what this sounds like, and you're not going to catch how annoying it is on camera, but this is something that I cannot figure out how to shut off in the settings menu, and a feature that I didn't even think people needed to have. I mean, who does not know that their vehicle is on? You can clearly hear the sound of the engine when you jump out of the car, and I don't know if too many people leaving their car on overnight because they forgot to turn the vehicle off. This technology has been around for like 20 years, and I have never heard of that being a problem. So let me show you what this obnoxious feature sounds like. First off, let me put the key back into my pocket, and let's step out of the car. Brace yourselves. Now, I swear I have had times where it continues to beep at me until I put the keys back in the car. But nonetheless, it is a very loud honk, and it is very annoying, especially when you do not expect it to happen. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Those are the 5 things that I hate so far about my 2021 Ford Bronco. Overall, it has been a fantastic vehicle, and I have loved driving this car. I've probably driven it more than any of my other cars so far, and it's been fun taking it on some short little trails, and even just driving to the grocery store with the roof opened up. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to talk about the list of things that I love about this car, because there's definitely a bigger list when it comes to things that I love about this vehicle. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, make sure you do so you can stay on top of all of the Ford Bronco and Dodge Challenger Hellcat wide body videos. Also find me on Instagram and TikTok at Schwazy_. Until next time, stay Schwazy, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.